Singapore take on Guam at the start of the FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifiers in Asia. First round action, the first of a two-legged tie between these two nations, coming to you from the National Stadium. And remember, for both of these sides, it's an opportunity to find their way through to a Group C encounter in round 2 next month with the likes of Son Heung-min's Korea Republic, the People's Republic of China, and also Southeast Asian giants Thailand. Just checking in on these two sides, who incidentally are separated by 44 places in the world rankings. Singapore come into this one, and they'll start as favourites just by virtue of that ranking, as they come up against a side which is only some 6 or 7 places off the bottom in terms of FIFA's estimation. Singapore far more active in recent times. Their most recent encounter exactly 1 month ago was a friendly against Chinese Taipei, and a much needed victory for them. A Singapore side which, since its group stage elimination at the AFF Championships, has played 6, winning 2, losing 1 and drawing 3. Captain Haris Harun knows that they will be expected to progress after this two-leg encounter. First match being played this evening. The second will take them to Guam and to the National Training Center there in 5 days' time. A Singapore side which, if it needed encouragement, came from its 2 club representatives in continental competition last week. Lion City Sailors with a very impressive AFC Asian Champions League victory over in Hong Kong. And as we see Ilhan Fandi's return to the ranks, let's listen to Coach Nishigaya.
Prelim round 1 against Guam. We know that Team Singapore have had some friendly matches prior. Good results, mixed results. Your thought and your planning thereafter, and today's game plan as well.
もちろんもう今日はホームゲームなので、まずは我々のしっかりやってきたことを出していく、そしてしっかり勝ちにいくということをしっかりフォーカスしてやっていきたいと思いますと。
Of course, we understand that this is a home game. We want to win the game, and we have to focus on the what we've done until today.
Okay, and also any special planning for training wise that you have conducted prior to this match as well?
今日の試合に対して特別なんかついていたと思います。いや、とにかく我々が今までやり続けたことをしっかりもう一度フォーカスしてやりたいと思ってます。
Again, we just focus on what we've done until today, since I came to here.
Thank you, and all the best for today's match.
Thank you so much.
Takayuki Nishigawa there. I'll talk about his record a little bit later on. Let's talk about Guam right now. The Islanders, with a population of just 170,000, who punch above their weight whenever they play any football. They come into this one extremely unprepared, though, in terms of action. The last friendly they played came in February 2022 at the Northern Mariana Islands, a victory 3-2 there. The last competitive action was in qualification action when they played against Cambodia in 2021. So as you can see, this is a side that's just come off the back of a 6-day or so trip to the Philippines, and before that, time spent in Korea. Many of their players are based in the United States and flew across for the Philippines camp. But this is really going to be in at the deep end for a side which is going to be much changed from that which we saw in action the last time they played a competitive game. More on the team news later, and the man who's in charge of this side is Ross Awa. In just a moment, we'll be hearing from the homegrown coach who's been looking to build on some very good work done over the last decade or so by those who preceded him. Quick look at Jason Cunliffe, the main man, the captain, the top goal scorer, and one that they'll be turning to once again this evening here in Singapore.
Coach, good afternoon and welcome to Singapore. Today's the first prelim round for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Your thoughts and coming into Singapore and then playing Team Singapore?
First off, good afternoon. Coming into Singapore, we're confident that the team is ready. They're ready to have a good performance tonight. Yeah.
Thank you, and all the best to your team.
Well, short and sweet there from Ross Awa, but the scale of the task that awaits this side is worth restating. This is a team which is ranked 201st by FIFA, and as much as anything, that is down to their lack of competitive action. Jason Cunliffe, who was far more liberal with his words in speaking to the media ahead of this match, said that they're looking to make a statement in this one. Singapore, of course, coming to this one knowing that they can ill afford any complacency in a game in which they will be expected to take advantage, as we heard from Coach Nishigaya there, of the home support. They'll be looking to put goals past the man you saw just now, Dallas J, in between the sticks for Guam. Highly experienced players. And this is a Guam selection which by its very nature changes massively from tournament qualifier to tournament qualifier. 3 of the newcomers to the party are actually going to be involved in their starting 11 today. 3 players with absolutely no senior first team experience whatsoever. Contrast that with Singapore's remarkable Haris Harun, making appearance number 125 for his nation this evening, and you see the gulf in experience between these two sides. You saw Ilhan Fandi just stepping off the bus earlier on, and everyone involved in Singapore football will be delighted to see that young man back. Of course, he has made his return to action after a knee injury that was suffered some 9 months ago, and he did so for his Belgian club side, Dens, and he did so in a pretty impressive performance when he made his return to action for them, scoring a goal and winning a penalty in a game for their under-21 side. That was after a 9-month injury layoff. I'll get to the absentees that are still plaguing the selection for Singapore in just a moment when we have a look at the lineups, but the coach has called for a response from the fans tonight. Remember, they've relocated from Bishan Stadium, which was the home for their last 2 encounters. There is Jason Cunliffe, who's been there and done just about everything with this Guam side. Remarkable. He'll be turning 40 years old just a little bit later on this month. And Cunliffe has played some 64. This will be his 65th appearance for his nation, scoring 25 goals along the way. Inspirational figure, and somebody who is still delivering the goods. The last time they played, I told you, was against the Northern Mariana Islands. They won that game 3-2 thanks to a Cunliffe hat-trick. He is somebody that Singapore will have to be very, very mindful of tonight. So Haris Harun and Jason Cunliffe about to lead their sides out. Remember, this is not just a FIFA World Cup 26 first-round qualification match. It doubles up as one for the AFC Asian Cup Saudi Arabia 2027 as well. So this is serious. Win over these 2 legs, and there is, as I said, the appealing prospect of taking on some of the bigger names in Asian football. Lose, and these international sides will be lacking meaningful competitive football for quite some time. Both sides in the past have had their opportunities to go straight into second-round qualification, but results and rankings have meant that that's not a luxury afforded to them, and one of them will fall by the wayside. There is a Singapore side which features 3 changes from that which beat Chinese Taipei in their last outing. Coach Nishigaya, as he said he would do, has resisted the temptation to bring Ilhan Fandi straight back into the starting lineup. He's mindful that he has to be very, very careful with his rehabilitation, despite the fact that he clearly was on a fantastic run of form before that unfortunate injury came along. And of course, a renowned football fan, somebody that we've seen in action and visiting high-profile football matches, of course, of the last major internationals. We've also seen him at AFC Asian Champions League action as well, and very, very good to see representation as the 2 sides are introduced to our dignitaries tonight. So the president meets the visitors, and it's a combination of veterans and newcomers for Guam, all of whom must be experiencing something very, very special indeed. President Darman, a massive football fan, and we've seen that, as I said, from his presence at a couple of high-profile games recently. Well, there's a lot riding on this for Singapore, and there's a lot riding on this one for the public perception of Singapore's national team. He and Haris Harun will only be too aware of that. Look out for Lionel Tan, number 9. Wears 9, scores goals, despite the fact that he's a central defender. And, of course, you can see at the right-hand side of your screen there the newly elected president of the Football Association of Singapore, Bernard Tan, as well. As the formalities are observed ahead of a game that is so very, very important to this Singapore side. Good results last week, I said, for the club sides. Lion City Sailors doing it away from home. Hougang United performing well in the AFC Cup competition. And now it's time, of course, to listen in to the anthems. For Madula Singapura, it's time now to prepare for the action and to start thinking about lineups for a game which will see Singapore coming in minus some high-profile players yet again. But as I said earlier on, with the potential inclusion off the bench of striker Ilhan Fandi, providing them with a major boost. But as far as the starting 11 is compared to that which beat Chinese Taipei, out go Iqbal Hussain, Zulfahmi and Joel Chu. In comes Shawal Anwar, Chris van Huysen, who was the second half substitute, and Hami Shaim. Just a note about Hassan Sunny, who, remember, of course, is now way past David Lee's number of caps record for a goalkeeper. It'll be 108 for him now tonight. On the substitutes bench, then, as you can see there, Ilhan Fandi, and whether or not we see him at some page remains to be seen, given that long injury layoff. Look out also for possibility of seeing the youngster Farhan in action as well. The match officials, it's Mohamed Gabayen from Jordan who takes charge of this one, assisted by his Jordanian colleagues. As we take a little look there at Jason Cunliffe, and have a look at a side here which features three of the absolute newcomers. I mentioned the youngsters, Anthony Kidache, Oz Rocker and Dane Jacob Agustin, are fresh faces new to the international setup, but the likes of Cunliffe and John Mackin are players to look out for here. Highly experienced players and very, very dangerous if they're able to get any meaningful possession together. These players, by and large, American-based, playing their football in the lower tiers of the professional game or even at collegiate level. And Ross Awa finds himself with a side that he says is full of promise, a combination of real experience and some fresh-faced youngsters. In particular, look out for Oz Rocker, who was highly impressive in action when we last saw a Guam team up against a Singapore team, and that was in the under-23 Asian Cup qualifiers. There is Coach Nishigawa, who does find himself under a little bit of pressure, played 16 or taking charge of 16 games now, winning 5, drawing 5, losing 6 for a 31.25 win percentage. And here's a man who gave credit to those who came before him. They've been fortunate to have English coaches and overseas coaches, but now it's very much homegrown talent that's been entrusted with taking this Guam side forward. Who knows, maybe into the second round of qualification for the FIFA World Cup and the AFC Asian Cup. A lot of pressure on that young defender. You saw just a moment or two ago, number 20 there, Dane Jacob Agustin, who was going to find himself operating up against a Singapore side that'll be looking for goals in this first leg, looking to get a serious advantage before they make that journey to Guam. Another way we go then. Singapore, of course, in their red, attacking the goal to our right. And straight away, a sign there of the energy levels that we could expect to see from Shawal Anwar, who's entrusted really with taking on most of the attacking roles for Singapore tonight, with Song Wee Young obviously in attendance. That was Van Huysen's throw down the line before a ball really fired then a little bit too firmly in the direction of Oz Rocker, who's done well to recover. Hugely experienced central midfield for this Guam side of Alec Taitage, the number 8, and Yona Romero, number 3. He also had a little glimpse there of Isaiah Lagutang, who wears 2, and he's another of the very, very experienced players in this side. That's Cunliffe for the first time, and the first sight of goal for the Guam captain, drawing the save from Hassan Sunny. And it's a measure of the incredible fitness levels of this man that you will see him in action really all the way through here. Remarkable professional. Jason Cunliffe spent most of his playing career in Guam. He plays for the Strikers Club right now, but did also have a stint in the Philippines. It's been a good start, this, by the way, side. Lovely little turn there away from his man by Eddie Na. As Singapore look to build through Zulkarnain, through midfield. Little chip ball forward, and a chance for Song Wee Young to maybe get into a central position here, as the defence was taking a little while to turn. Zulkarnain took his own time there, and in the end was asking a lot, really, with the pass of Hami Shahin. But it is the number 2 for Singapore. Zulkanen, who has got the opportunity to get the ball into the area. Try and get his side starting on the front foot. Well, that was a heavy-looking challenge there from the captain. Looks as if he took out 2 Singaporeans with 1 there. Jason Cunliffe. Yep. This central defensive pairing for Guam is highly inexperienced. 2 of the debutants in Kudiche and Agustin. That must be something that Singapore will be looking to exploit if they possibly can. Song curls one in, and it's half clear, but only as far as the edge of the area. Hammy there, ball still not cleared, and now the whistle blows and gives Guam an opportunity to just regroup and get themselves upfield. Time on the ball there, did Zulkanen, instead surrendered possession. And that's a battling piece of work in midfield from Alex Taitage. Once again, Zulkanen down the right-hand side. Remember, Singapore's previous outing to that victory against Chinese Taipei was a defeat to Tajikistan. Prior to that, a draw with the Solomon Islands. There's an opportunity, and just not really on the same wavelength there as Van Hoesen went forward. He and his rejigged attacking lineup. It has to be said, last time out we saw the power and the more direct, I suppose you'd say, approach of Iqbal Hussain. And really, in the absence of Ihsan Fandi, the #1 man, but still out as he recovers from that serious knee injury. That's a huge problem. His brother Irfan is missing as well, remember, and Irfan Fandi's out with a calf problem suffered with his club in Thailand. The other major absentee, the other Thailand-based player, is Rayhan Stewart, whose hamstring injury keeps him out of this equation tonight. But Singapore with another opportunity. Look out for Lionel Tan, who's been in great goal-scoring form for his national team. 3 in 6 for him as they go far, and it should be the keepers. A little bump for good measure there on Dallas J, but he's seen that before. And a safe pair of hands. 30-year-old. Dallas J, like 1 or 2 of the more senior players in the Guam side, already working hard and looking towards a career in coaching as they seek to provide some continuity. Cunliffe, for example, has done his A license already. Yet to really see another of the experienced players, John Mack, in there in significant action. Matkins, a 37-year-old, so between him and Cunliffe, there's an awful lot of experience in this side. Shahran again chosen in midfield. And there's Cunliffe, looks to go long straight away, banging it out to the left-hand side and running a little bit too far there as he was looking to bring Eddie Nahr into play. Jacob Mahler and Lionel Tan, the central defensive pairing for this Singapore side, as we've seen in those friendly matches played. Flag stays down, and there's Zulkanen with a chance to get up and play a ball in, just a little bit behind his intended target, Shaul Anwar, and had that one been just a little bit further forward, a little bit in front of the striker, you feel there was almost a tap in there. He'd got away from his man. Central defender was never going to win that race. And they'll just break off because there's half a chance again for Shaolanwa in the area, causing trouble. Still haven't cleared it effectively, and then really ambitious effort from some range there from Shah. Anumantam was lifting the ball forward there. Very versatile, Anu. And now building up a substantial number of caps, 36 today. Very strong Lion City Sailors representation in this Singapore party for these qualification matches. In the initial 25 named, some 10 players coming from Lion City Sailors. Flag stays down, and there's an opportunity for Song, who's drifted in. Shaolanwa, who's missed it somehow. Somehow, a golden chance goes begging. Well, the pockets of space are really opening up already for Singapore. That was too easy there, and that really should have been so easy to finish there. Song's ball, absolutely perfect, and somehow he managed to get right underneath it. But there are one or two worrying signs at the back for this very young, very new look defensive formation for Guam. Cunliffe up challenging. Mankin wants to get there, but Zulkarnain's just going to knock it back to Lionel Tan, who decides to go long and early, and it might just work out if Shaolanwa can get some kind of control on that, which he can't. But Song keeps the move alive, out to the left-hand side, looking for Van Huysen. Song himself drops back in. Singapore just sensing that there are opportunities for them, even in these early exchanges. Back they go to Marla. Into midfield quickly now, Anumantam. Anu out to the left-hand side. And again, that's easily done. Couldn't get the ball in, though, having beaten the man, Van Huysen. And it's beginning to look like a very important passage of this game already as we come towards the 10-minute mark. Singapore beginning to believe that there are opportunities for them. There are goals for them here. Van Huysen. Shaolanwa came, looks for that opportunity. It's with the captain, Harris Harun! Just goes wide. Harris's shot, for a moment, looked as if it might just cause problems, and he knows that he should have hit the target. Once the defender committed there, Taitage it was sliding in. It just gave him that little bit of room for the shot. But Singapore on the front foot here at home this evening. Four shots to one, as you can see, even in these early exchanges. Kirache looking a little bit stressed defensively there. They're struggling really to just cope with some of the runs we're seeing, in particular from Song Wei-Young, who's got this roving role. Shaolanwa that time. There's a fluidity to the Singapore attack. There's no obvious target man in there, although Shaolanwa will naturally find himself probably in a central attacking role more than anyone else in the side. Well, they're looking to just try and string together some kind of a spell of possession here, Guam. Just put one or two passes together and take a bit of heat off that overheated young defence of theirs. As Lionel Tan and Marla find their way back to Hassan Sunny. Anu operating just over on the left-hand side of 3 at the moment. Well, there's a lovely little turn, and that lovely little turn drew the foul. Dane Augustin it was who went charging through the back there on Hami. Alotan looking down the right-hand side for Zulkanen, who's got a bit of room, gets inside his man. Is he fouled? Yes, is the referee. Just looked to go around the back there, went to ground, and the referee quite rightly deciding that that was a little bit too physical there from Kirachai, and again they find themselves in a little bit of danger here. Guam, opportunity for Singapore if they can produce the quality to open up that defence once more. He's seen a lot of the ball early on, and his adventure down that right-hand side is going to be very important, you feel, for Singapore. Zulkanen operating in that right wing-back role, and he spent a lot of time in the Guam half already. Song it is, standing over this one. The man who plays his football, remember, for Persebaya Surabaya. Naturalised Singaporean who has got the experience now in this national team. He's got the confidence to step up and make things happen. 19th cap this evening. 4 goals for him. Can he make one for his nation now? Clipped in by Song. Far post. They're all queuing up. But Taitage was back there defending. And now Guam have a chance to just shape up once again. But that's a great ball in. Song William squares it. Has to be. And somehow Singapore again miss with an open goal, begging for the first goal of the night to come their way. Wow! Another chance wasted. Such an easy chance again. Not really sure what Xiaolanhua was trying to do there. He slid in on this one when it just needed a composed finish. And then sliding in behind him was Shah as well. Neither able to get really just any kind of contact, which would have seen that go in. Singapore just can't afford to waste chances like this on a regular basis. 2 golden opportunities gone. Nicely done. Harris pushes forward from midfield. Zulkanen with a throw-in for Singapore, who really should be 2 goals to the good inside the first 15 minutes here against Guam. But it's still scoreless. Marla, nice little ball there into the feet of Hami. And there's an opportunity again at full stretch, this Guam defence. Nicely taken down by Cunliffe, who desperately wants to get something going. He's got Matkin on the outside. Here's John Matkin. Showed a bit too much of that. No foul, says the referee. Ball was won there by Van Huysen. Matkin will disagree. The American-born player is down holding his ankle, and that's going to have to go out of play. Just one of those challenges where it looked as if Van Huysen was entitled to go for it, and if he's won the ball, fair enough. But just how much of the Guam number 7 did he catch? And did he catch man before ball? The referee was in a good position to see. It just looks as if it might have been a bit of both there. And also, was he in full control there, Van Huysen? Again, the referee will have processed all of that. The Jordanian official decided that that was acceptable. Lovely ball in behind here. There's the opportunity. Hami steps inside his man, and Agustin is still trying to make a challenge. Nicely done there by Singapore's number 16. Zulkanen's gone for a little wander into the middle here. Still going here. He's got players out to the left. Son finds Van Huysen. It needs to be a good ball. It is a good ball, and it's saved. It's a follow-up in. No, and again, the Guam goal somehow survives, leading a charmed life it is. Wow. Talk about missed opportunities. They are coming time and time again. Great header from Shaolanwa, nothing wrong with that, but it's direction straight at the goalkeeper. And from that position, again, maybe they'll feel that they should have made something happen. And again, with the follow-up, his composure just letting him down there. Really should have added at least one to his 9 international goals by this stage, Shaolanwa. And for Guam, well, they're living dangerously, but they are living. As Romero knocks the ball down the right-hand side, and drifting offside is Eddie Na, who's seen very little of the ball in the last 10 minutes or so. They made a bright enough start, did Guam, but they have been absolutely beleaguered since then, besieged by a Singapore side which has done everything but score. So across the 3 men at the back, Singapore go once again. That was a little bit sloppy though, and they're lucky to regain possession. Anu steps infield. Anu's just crowded out and fouled, says the referee, adding to John Makin's sense of injustice. Oh, Zulkarnain's found some room once again down the right-hand side. He's got Shaolanwa to aim at, and instead he tried to pick out Song. The move could still be alive, though, as Hami looks to keep things going. They're enjoying a lot of possession and a lot of space down this right-hand side, with Hami Shahim really getting on the ball very, very often, as Takayuki Nishigawa and his coaching staff look on. They'll know that Singapore can make this a lot easier for themselves if they can just get one in. Harris back to tidy things up, just settles it down, gets his head up, out to the right to Zulkarnain once again. Moving the ball quickly and moving it well, looking to make the most of this momentum that they have in the side. Lionel. That was a little bit too obvious, that one, and Taitagi is able to cut out. Cunliffe on the ball for Guam. Romero, but they're being pressed and they're being hurried and they're losing possession, and they're looking just a little bit ragged at the moment there. But still they cling on. Just to give you a little bit of sense of the history of this Guam side, they have got some pedigree in this competition. In fact, there was one qualifying campaign when they scored victories against India and Turkmenistan in a very difficult, initially looking on paper, group, which they gave a great account of themselves. In the past, they've also beaten Bhutan 5-0 on one occasion. And they have a draw with Oman to their name as well in terms of their international history. They've only had a national team since 1975 in terms of playing matches against FIFA or official FIFA nations. And they picked up their first ever international victory against such a side in 2009. So 21 minutes played, and it's still somehow 0-0. Here's a chance though. Shaolanwa! It's wide again. And the crowd at the National Stadium are getting used to this by now. Chance comes, chance goes. Well, two ways of looking at it. One is that the encouraging side of this is that these chances are coming, that this defence is being opened up oh so easily. But of course the flip side is that Singapore, and in particular, unfortunately, the number 20 has just not been able to convert. Cunliffe's just gone down. Looks as if he's got something ailing him, or maybe he just wants to try and give his side a little bit of breathing space. Probably a little bit cynical to suggest that, but he's not far off 40 years old, Cunliffe. He's been doing all he can to stem the flow in midfield. He's normally someone who likes to push forward as much as he can, but he and the rest of this Guam side have desperately been trying to put some kind of a shield in front of their inexperienced back line. And although the scoreline will tell you, as we are now halfway through the first half, that it's working, the reality is that Guam have been absolutely torn apart in front of goal here. Maybe, as the cameras turn to the man who could make a difference, they do need to turn to Ilhan Fandi. And this is a troubling sight for Guam, as Cunliffe looks as if he's not going to be able to continue. If that's the case, that's a major blow for Guam. Just have a little look. They're just working on the captain, desperately trying to get him out there. As much as anything, they're going to need his experience, his leadership, and anything. Yeah, he is ready to go again, but just a bit of a concern for them. And Jason Cunliffe returns. They have 11 once again, but that 11 finds itself turned around once again too easily. Song Wee-young, Van Huysen for company outside him. Shower goes far post this time. And that time, the defence does its job without too many scares. Well, Cunliffe on the ball, seems to be moving reasonably well. And just a rare opportunity for Guam to get a feel for the football here. Romero pushing it out to the right-hand side. Lagutan. Dropping very, very deep is Carl Halehale, another of the experienced players in this side. And when you say experienced, anyone who's got more than 5 caps is experienced, because that could go back over a few years. Keeping the ball in play, but returning it there to Anu to give Singapore an opportunity to build once more. They've done very well in getting the wing-backs forward, and Coach Nishigai obviously knows that this is a game in which he's going to be expected to make the running. His side's going to see Guam sit back, and by playing his 3 and getting those wing-backs forward, well, that part of the tactical plan has worked well. It's just the finishing, obviously, and the risk of labouring the point that just needs to be better. Van Huysen, one of them out the left-hand side. He's linked up very well with Song throughout this first half. Song thinks about trying to dig a cross out with the right foot, goes back instead to Anu. And then they work it. That's smart play. Nicely done. The opportunity exists down the left-hand side, and it's a shot into the hands of Dallas J, who might just have let it go behind. He's furious. He tells the assistant in no uncertain terms that no, the ball did not cross the line. But it was good play by Shah Shairan down that left-hand side there, as they worked an opening, got into the area, got a shot away there. Will something come from this? Song works it short. So Kanan clipping the ball in this time, but that was easily dealt with. Back where defending was Eddie Nahr, and now an opportunity for Osrucker. And there's the chance. That came from nowhere. And Hassan Sani, as he does time and time again, comes up with a big save, and he knows it. Wow, Eddie Nahr, who has not really had a look at goal so far, suddenly somehow finds himself through that defence with a one-on-one. It needed saving. And there'll be questions asked about the shape of that Singapore defensive formation there. That was too easy. So having threatened at one end, Singapore found themselves threatened big time there. And as long as it stays scoreless, of course, they will regret those misses. Need to get some goals here, need to just safeguard themselves against the threat of another break, another chance. This Guam side can score goals, we know that. They've demonstrated that throughout their history, and their recent history especially. Tend to be involved in games in which goals are scored at both ends of the pitch. It's Van Huysen, seeing a lot of the ball in the first half. Oh, nicely done, cuts inside, right-footed, gets a shot away, good one. Beaten away there by Dallas James. O'Connell's done well. Has he kept it in though? Probably not, as the flag is finally raised. Oh, that was better from Singapore. Good bit of ambition down the left-hand side, turning into a shot which bounced awkwardly in front of Dallas J, who got it quite a long way from goal. Song Wee-young it was who cut in and shot. And that's what he can do, and that's what he's going to have to do, really, Song. Just gamble a little bit, try something different. Oh, and there's an opportunity to play Shao Lanhua in. Pass was just a touch heavy. And here's a chance, Mackin down the left, can't make it. Just need to maintain those concentration levels in defence, Singapore. It's been so easy for them. They've played so much football in the Guam half. And of course, the one man who does that brilliantly is Hassan Sunny, who they have seen save them on one occasion just a couple of moments ago already. Taitage loses out there. Harris Harron comes away. Tidy feet as ever from the captain. Switches it out to the left-hand side. Song is operating out there. Singapore have 4 players now, 5 with Van Huysen looking to overlap. And Song goes on his own, clips the ball in far post, too far for Shao Lanhua. And guess who's here? Zulkarnain. The pressure from Mackin, no foul. Lionel, will he put a cross in? Well, he does, but just a bit too big, really, there. Maybe not his forte, but then again, his form in front of goal, particularly when it comes to scoring, has been quite something. When you consider he only scored 2 goals in the whole Singapore Premier League season, but he's managed to pick up 3 in 6 games in his international career, he is going to be a factor at set pieces in particular if Singapore can work them. But Guam, known as the Matao, they are in this one. The Matao referring to a noble class, and says a lot about the respect in which this sport is being held in a country that traditionally used to be really an American sports country. Football and basketball of the, well, football of the American kind, more popular, but soccer, as they call it, is really growing in the country. Good facilities, lovely national training facility that was damaged not that long ago by a typhoon, but has been brought back into play and should be absolutely fine for the second leg in 5 days' time. Song, nicely done, looks up for the support, has it outside him, goes on the right foot. Song Wee-young, can he set the shot? Well, he was looking for Shah, and in the end, the referee unwittingly got in the way. Past the half-hour mark, still no goals here at the National Stadium. Remarkably, if you're joining us late for this first round qualification match for the FIFA World Cup in 26 and also doubling up for the AFC Asian Cup in Saudi Arabia in 2027, the story of the game is one of missed opportunities. 3, maybe 4 golden opportunities wasted by Singapore so far. Something they need to put right. As Harris just takes a little bit too long on the ball there. Oz Rocker's over there with him, and Eddie Na getting involved. The strikers have been good for Guam, coming back in, dropping into midfield and just lending a hand when they can. Halle looking to pick out Romero, can't find him. Shao Lanhua back there challenging. And it's just quietened the crowd down a little bit here, which is exactly what Guam are going to want to do. Absolutely no rush whatsoever, all the way back to Dallas J. And the 30-year-old keeper pumped the ball forward here, which is probably going to find its way back to his opposite number. Every chance of it, but Mahler instead looks to pick a pass into midfield. Nicely done. And again, it's good to see Hammy coming short and receiving. He's been very good, actually, Hammy Shan, must say. Very impressive so far. Another of the Lion City Sailors contingent, Hammy Shan. Well, there was no foul there. Shah was in attendance. We're going to ground there was Kidache, and it's Singapore who now look to try and just up the tempo a little bit, try and get some of that momentum that they had that led to all those chances really between the 10th and 25th minute when they were bossing this match. Anu clips the ball early. Shaolanwan's made the run. Keeper's come a long way, and Shaolanwan knew that. May have thought a little bit about the chip or the lob just there. Song again. Really makes Singapore tick in an attacking sense. That's drifted out of play. Bit sloppy from the home side. And you feel at the very least they want to be going to Guam with a cushion of a couple of goals. That surely has to be the bare minimum requirement, really. Last time these two sides met did result in a draw. 2015 friendly match played at the Jalan Besar Stadium saw Guam actually lead twice in the match through Cunliffe and Nicolau. It ended up 2-2. That's nicely done. Jacob there showing composure at the back. Cross to Anu, but Guam won't mind this at all. Singapore's three-man defence just knocks the ball around. Just allows the Guam side, which as you can see there is dropping back into 4 at the back when they're defending now. But they've been just caught out here. Lagutan's beaten. Here's the chance, and there's the shot, and there's the opening goal. And it is an absolute beauty. Well, he's been pushing forward, Van Huysen, to good effect, but that was absolutely perfect. He shows them the way, and Singapore finally have the lead in the 35th minute. And what a very, very fine goal that is. What a great way to go in front. Cut in from the left, kept going. And Van Huysen with all the space in the world. As soon as Lagutan committed himself there, the shot was on. But it had to be good, and there's no stopping that. Arrowing into the far corner there. That is a superb strike. Take your applause, young man. That is a fabulous effort there from the Lion City Sailors fullback. And just what the crowd wanted. The last thing Singapore needed was to have the crowd frustrated, to lose that element of home support. Now, can they add to it? Shaolanwan's looking busy. Singapore are buzzing around, looking dangerous, looking for a second here. Captain clips it wide, looking for Zulkarnain. Plays it first time, they're all in there. Oh, there were 3 red shirts to aim at in the area there, and in the end, Dallas J this time able to grab the ball. So suddenly things change. And they might not be able to score the tap-ins, but boy, oh boy, Christopher Van Huysen scoring an absolute worldie from some way out. Romero for Guam, picked off very easily by Shah. Song, was he fouled? Yes, says the referee. Lagutan frustrated. Jacob Mahler into midfield. And once again, hugging the touchline. Zulkarnain there. been a feature of his play so far. Hammy, nicely done. Good play this by Singapore once again, but just enough of a block on that from Dane Augustin. Lionel across now to Anu as they look to build and look to try and get something going once again, whilst Guam are vulnerable. They've been beaten once. Can they do it again? Lionel looks for the runners out to the right-hand side. Here's Hammy once again. Shawalatwa's in the middle if they can deliver early. Song wanted it played early, just lost a little bit of the impetus. But they know that they threaten from these wide areas. This man in particular, there's Van Huysen again into the feet of Shah, but his little layoff to Song goes astray. Guam down in their history, you know, in the old days, it's fair to say we're on the receiving end sometimes of some big scorelines, but you feel that they're a more battle-hardened unit this time around, and what they know they need to do is somehow make it through to half-time, maybe just one goal down. There's an opportunity again, and the keeper's come out because the young defender found himself in trouble there, Dane Augustin, got the wrong side and then had to be careful not to put a foul in on Shaolanwa. So it will be the corner from the far side with Song once more. 5 in the area. Jacob's gone forward this time. Nearly on the end of it, Lionel Tan, almost inevitably. Maybe you feel that that was a half-decent chance there. Yeah. Just enough there from Tai Tage's head, just to flick it past the Singapore number 9. But it'll be a corner from the other side as a consequence, and another opportunity from the set piece. Both centre-halves up there. Harris is in the box too. Just a quality delivery required, really, from Song Woo-young. Clips it in, looks for the flick, and it'll break once more. Hammy sets up Song. Can he curl one in? He does. Oh, that's a lovely ball! And that's just over the top from Lionel, who got in front of his man. Flag raised. And the pressure continues to build on this Guam goal. That was a lovely curling ball to the near post. Came off the defender, who was claiming that Lionel was fouling him. But yet again, it's a corner. The 4th one now for Singapore. Song, right-footed. And they're all up and in there, but it might just be clear. No, it's not! Absolutely thumped in by Jacob Marler. Right place, right time, right finish, and he buries it in the bottom corner there for his 2nd international goal. So Guam into the huddle. They know that they couldn't cope with that pressure. Corner after corner. And then when the scramble broke and the ball found its way to Jacob Marler, he had the composure and the quality to fire it into the bottom corner. That was a quality finish in the end, just powered it in. But the questions really will be asked in the Guam defence as to how that was allowed to happen. Little scrum there, and in that goes. So the defenders are doing the goal scoring. We've seen Van Huysen score his first, and we've seen a second now for Jacob Marler in Singapore colours. As with 4 or so minutes to go to the break, this is a lot more like it, and that's sloppy again. Just looking a little bit frayed around the edges, this Guam side there, as Song was given an opportunity to break. Marler back doing some defending now. Anu down the left for Singapore. There's the run from Song, and that run's a good one. And he finds himself in. He's got Shaul Anwar for company. Instead goes out left to Van Huysen. Zulkarna's free on the far post if they can pick him out. Instead it goes straight up in the air from Shaul, when maybe the play there would have been to get the number 2 in. So suddenly the stress levels at the back for Guam mounting by the minute. Every time Singapore come forward, it looks just too easy. Song knows he's got the beating of that defence. He just turned, spun, and ran away from them there. Lagutang took a little bang in the back of the head there. Says it was an elbow. Referee decides it's just a free kick, nothing too serious. And a little bit of respite for a side that has just begun to look very ordinary defensively. They've looked pretty good going forward, though. We've seen that from 1 or 2 half chances. As Romero loses out in midfield, is there time for Singapore to mount another serious attack? Well, not like that. A rare wasted ball from the back. Yeah, and it's been notable that since he received a little bit of treatment, we really haven't seen anything from Jason Cunliffe at all, really. The Guam captain does look to be struggling physically. Dallas J given the hurry up there. Harris with the header back in. Tatagi, nice little ball out to the left-hand side. That's more like it. Kitache's ball forward, and Hassan Sunny is the sweeper keeper, as he knows how to do so well. Jacobs down. He just took a bang in the back, I think, in that little run in on goal there. Maybe the ribs. He's not comfortable, but no major harm done. And it was the substantial figure of Oz Rucker that was battling with him. Let's have a look at his goal right now. That just ricocheted around, and then he just fired it in there, did Jacob Marler. Get the feeling that set pieces could provide more goals for Singapore as this game goes on. And Zulkarnain will be looking to achieve just that. Easily done. Hammy now, has he got the quality with the ball? Tried to play a little reverse ball back to Zulkarnain once again, but they won't complain about getting another corner. They have threatened from them. Can Guam withstand this one? And again, trudging over to the other side of the pitch from where he's most ordinarily operating is Song, who's put in a big shift in this first half here. We're into the 3 minutes added on at the end of the first half. He works this one short. Hammy clips it in, doesn't get it past the first man, but it's back with Zulkarnain. They've all stayed up, the Singaporeans. If they can just work another cross, here's the opportunity for them. Hammy's ball in, far post. Looking to get it back in play is Marler. Lionel's there. Van Huysen, he's got the quality, but it could be a cross clipped in by the defender. And it's in, and it's again Shaul Anwar with an opportunity to score, who beats the ground in frustration. Just couldn't get any kind of meaningful contact on that. It's a great chance. Good ball in, and he just got the header all wrong. So really, again, you feel, well, you take your pick. This scoreline could have been, what, 4-5, maybe more by now. But it's 2-0 to Singapore, and they won't be complaining about that. They're very much on their way. Cunliffe goes down. No foul, an advantage played, in fact, by the referee there. And that's battling from Oz Rucker there that wins the throw into Guam. Played a good advantage, but Cunliffe just felt the effects of that challenge a moment ago. And that is not going to help the player who has been labouring with injury this first half. But can Guam come up with something in the dying seconds of this first half here in Singapore? Rucker's got the long throw, or long-ish, easily dealt with. Lagutang just recycles. Romero, he turns and looks to clip a ball forward to the number 19. That's nicely done. Taitage's in there, very physically in on Anu. Lagutang again helps it back into the area. Harris, a little flick round the corner. These are probably the closing exchanges in this first half now. And that is exactly the case as the referee brings it to an end. And he does so with a Singapore crowd that is relieved that they are celebrating a 2-0 advantage given to them by Jacob Marler, who picked up a second international goal, firing in Singapore's second. But with the greatest respect, it was nowhere near as good as a stunning international debut strike for Chris van Huysen, who's had a fantastic first half, capped by an absolutely brilliant opener. Well, pats on the back for one of the goal scorers there, and Singapore will know that they made hard work of it for 30-odd minutes in this game. But now, at the break at the National Stadium, it's a scoreline in this World Cup qualifier of Singapore 2, Guam 0. And so welcome back to the National Stadium, where Singapore get us underway for the second half of this FIFA World Cup qualifier, and they do so straight away on the front foot with Charles Anwar threatening down the left-hand side. Danger not cleared by a Guam team which ended the first half desperately defending and starts the second half the same way. Goals, and stunning goals in particular, from Chris Van Huysen, opening up the scoring in the 35th minute, I should say, for Singapore, and then a second being fired home on 41 from Jacob Mahler. And really it was a flurry of corners towards the end of that first half that caused all the problems for Guam, and Singapore start the way they finished, with Song Ui-young looking to fire one in. Clipped it across, flicked over the top. It was Mahler with the header looking to add to his goal tally. And it's a bright start from a Singapore side which is unchanged from that which ended the first half. Straight away a threat there from the set piece for the home side, who will be going in search of more goals. You can be absolutely sure of that. They really have wrested control of this game. His Song once again strides past Cunliffe out to the right hand side. So Cunliffe's on the overlap here. Happy picks him out. Danger if they can hit the far post, and in the end spectacularly cleared. Hali it was with the clearance, but the ball's still in play. Well, he did so well to get back towards his own goal there, did Kyle Hali, and make that stop. It looks as if Singapore are going to score a third, as Zulkarnain rather dug out that cross. Injured himself in the process there. Zulkarnain for Singapore. Very bright start. If you are just joining us for this game and missed the first half, I can tell you the story was one for the first 35 minutes of glaring chances missed by the home team. 3, maybe 4 really good opportunities, going by and large the way of Charles Anwar, who for some reason or other just hasn't got his goal-scoring boots on tonight. But no harm done, as Matkin goes back to defend, and they really do look as if they're struggling to get a foothold in this game now, Guam. There's a change that they have made. It's Caio Gonçalves who has come on into a midfield role. But like the rest of them, he's got to find himself doing some defending. In fact, he's capable of playing midfield. He's probably going to drop in more to a right-sided defensive role by the sound of things. And it's Song once again who has been a source of torment really for Guam with his corners. This one swings way out to the penalty spot. Chance for the follow-up. Van Huysen! Does he do it again? Not this time. The man who cut in from the left on 35 minutes and curled an absolute beauty. 25 yards the shot was, and it was his first international goal. Magnificent stuff, but this time can't repeat the dose. But a very passive start by Guam here, who just really looked to be struggling for body language as much as anything else. Let's not forget that Eddie Na, who you just see there, number 11, had a great chance midway through the first half, through on goal, and here's Song Ui-young, and he goes on his own, and the keeper comes and smothers, and a combination of him and his defence get the job done there. Kidache it was who came across, as Son just pinned his ears back and went for it. That little look up there through the defender, got past Agustin, but Kidache did well to come across. But again, it's at the expense of a corner, and we know how dangerous these can be. There's a line of 4 once again there. Lionel Tan, Jacob Mahler's in there. Shah, Harris, 2. Looking for something. Could be a flick from Charles Anwar, who's kept it alive. Song again. Van Huysen works it to the left. Hami this time trying to get the ball in. And Hami Shahid will have, oh, he leaves it. But he has been a very big part of this Singapore performance so far. Just keeps them ticking over. He's a tidy player. Van Huysen, nicely done. Oh, that was a great flick from Charles Anwar, but didn't quite fall for for Son in the end. So, coach Takayuki Nishigaya not making any changes just yet. Not too phased by what he's seen maybe in front of goal, where Singapore have created without necessarily scoring through their strikers. Does have options, of course, he can turn to. And that might just be a foul over on the far side, which could lead to a position of some danger once again. That was a little bit clumsy there from Anthony Kidache, as Hami just pushed the ball and went past him. Really have linked up well, those two, Zulkarnain and Hami. Shami down the right side there. Shane, I should say, down the right side there. 6 fouls committed. They really have been on the back foot for long periods of this game. Song Wei-young, yet again from a set piece. Curls the right foot round, and there's a chance for Jacob over the top. Another corner. Well, he claims a bit of shirt pulling, but it's par for the course in there. This could be a very, very long 40 minutes or so for Guam if Singapore keep coming at them like this. Song, clipped in. There's a header off the post. Oh, and somehow Lionel can't make it. Yet another international goal. Didn't know much about it when it came back off the woodwork, but he could have got lucky instead. Maybe off his knee, off his thigh. It just went over the top. Great header from Xiao Lanhua, running away from goal. And then he just couldn't get any kind of control off the thigh, I think it was, from Lionel. The keeper was beaten by the initial header, though. Again, a little bit too easy, really, for Singapore there from the set piece. And the fans are understandably enjoying themselves at the National Stadium tonight. President Tharman is in attendance with the dignitaries, and it's good to see Singapore with something to sing and cheer about. To put it into some context, of course, even if they are to go through after this and the second leg, it would put them into the second round of Asian qualification. And remember, in Group C, it would be, with respect to Guam, a far taller order, as they would find themselves up against the likes of Korea, Republic, China and Thailand in that group. Oh, that's nicely done by Harris. Just rolling back the years as he ghosted around his man. Here's a chance in the middle. It's off the back of Xiao Lanhua this time. Hami's shot was not really full of intent. And now is a chance. John Matkin on the ball. Flips it into a channel, looking for Oz Rocker. But he was offside. Two Rockers in this squad is Zane Rocker, his goalkeeper, on the bench for Guam tonight. There was that sort of cross shot that struck the back of Xiao Lanhua. Zulkarnain in field to Hami. Harris under a little bit of pressure, might go all the way back. And that was just a little bit hasty from Jacob Mahler there, just got themselves a little bit caught, a bit complacent, Singapore. Jason Cunliffe with a rare touch on the ball. He started the game brightly, did the 39-year-old Guam captain, but just doesn't seem to be moving well, just can't get involved in the match. And there's a little bit of danger. Halahali was almost caught there. Jacob comes through, reads the play very well. Shah now looking to keep this move going, keep it flowing for Singapore. They've got bodies in the middle. Alec, tight target with a lovely ball out to the right-hand side. That's nicely done. Eddie Na now. Rocker looking to find Taitagi, who drifted forward. Harris has to be quick. He does. Just about toe pokes it away to Anu. No great surprise there that you're seeing lots of energy from Oz Rocker there. But now they have to turn around and defend again. Zulkarnain, as he's done all night, in from the right-hand side. As Shaolamwa just about controls it, fouled by Cunliffe. He's told him to have a look at the screen. I don't think you'll see it there. His touch wasn't great initially, but there was contact. Now, what can Singapore conjure up from this set piece? Five in the wall for Guam. We haven't seen a direct free kick yet from Singapore. Plenty of service from Song, but it looks as if Shah fancies his chances at this one. Shahiran, the sole player over this ball. Now we're going to see something special from the youngster. He has got one international goal to his name. And this now is his 17th appearance for Singapore. So Shah for Singapore. From some distance, clips it up and over and a little bit too high. Not far away, but the keeper was there. Never really troubling Dallas J, that one. Would have needed an awful lot more whip and bend to cause problems. And speaking of which, the crowd just getting excited there about, I think, a warm-up. It might just be that there's a little bit of action from the Singapore bench there. Coming towards the hour mark, and you get the feeling there's likely to be a change or two made by the home side. Rocker does well, gets the ricochet in his favour. He's got Cunliffe to his left, but it's Oz Rocker for Guam. He's still going. Was he fouled? Just on the edge of the area. He thinks he was. He was double-teamed for sure. And the young striker, who's really a handful, was too strong there for his markers. Oh, and then he lunges in. Maybe frustration, I'm afraid, there. And he'll perhaps be on the receiving end there. That wasn't a nice challenge on Marla, who looks up in some kind of bemusement. There was the challenge. No harm done, fortunately, and on they go. No card shown either. As Anu brings the ball forward to the left-hand side. Van Huysen forced to stretch by the pass. Gonçalves, he was looking for options in the middle. Might just have gained a lot of territory there for a throw-in for Guam. Van Huysen was at full stretch there. Just have to make sure that hasn't taken a toll on him in terms of any kind of muscle damage, but he looks to be moving okay. Taitagi puts the ball straight out of play. And we really have only seen that one opportunity in the game so far that saw Hassan Sani almost inevitably save the day for Singapore. And here's a change, and here he comes, the golden boy. Ilhan Fandi will get at least half an hour as he comes on now to replace Shaolamwa. And you could hear the crowd's reaction to that one, as we also see another couple of substitutions made here. So it's been a good shift for Hami. He makes way. Adam Swandi is on the scene. And Zulkarnain is replaced by Hafiz Noor. Triple change made as Singapore presumably look for more of the same and more goals. Here's an opportunity. Eddie Na down the right-hand side gets a cross in, and it was a chance for Rocker, who just shovels the ball over the top. And that was a pretty clear-cut opening, as good as we've seen really from Guam in terms of getting a ball in. Just caught a little bit on the back foot. Maybe the substitutions just disrupted Singapore's shape there, but they were opened up very easily. And just settling into their shape, but pretty much like for like in terms of the changes. Ilhan obviously going to be operating really centrally here as a striker. And then Adam, who's come in for Hami, will link up down the right-hand side there. But obviously we've seen a double change with Hafiz Noor coming in too. And it's his throw as they look to get something working again. Oh, and he goes nicely. Oh, that's lovely. Just lost his footing, though. I don't think there was any foul committed. Just went a little bit too fast for its own good there and went to ground. So, all eyes on Ilhan Fandi. I spoke earlier on about the injury. Remember, that injury suffered 9 months ago, playing against Vietnam in AFF Championship action, and now the number 19. I'll break off because at the other end, the number 19 for Guam, Oz Rucker, is causing trouble again as Hassan Sunny decides to just go safety first and put the ball out. But you get the sense large part of this crowd has come to watch Ilhan play, and his arrival on the scene has created something of a stir. Will we see him getting into action? Romero did well to work around the outside. Ball stays in, say the officials. And the first meaningful action for Ilhan Fandi. There's a little flick header and a nudge in the back. No foul. Cunliffe for Guam. Gonçalves, sloppy ball, straight to Harris. Harun, who was a little bit slow in possession too. Taitage, as Guam have just taken a little bit of control of this game away from Singapore for the last few minutes. Harris looks to just clip a ball out nicely. Ilhan, does he go on his own? Ilhan Fandi for Singapore. Always challenged from behind. He goes down under the challenge of Gonçalves there. That's a yellow card offence. And you have to just hope that Singapore's number 19 is not too badly harmed by that challenge. Oh, really nothing good about that. He was never in with a chance of getting anywhere near the ball. Ilhan made his way towards the box, and the thing he had to be mindful, of course, there was conceding the penalty. So Caio Gonçalves goes in the book, and it looks as if Ilhan's fine. Here are the changes for Guam. Travis Nicolau is going to be arriving on the scene, very experienced defender. And Takumi Ito, likewise. Matt Kim makes way after a very quiet outing. And Kidache too. But meanwhile, there is a free kick to be taken. earned by Ilhan Fandi. And will it be converted by him? Shah stands over it, so too Ilhan. Van Huysen not far away. Ilhan Fandi clips it over the top. To the frustration of the crowd, it wasn't to be, not this time anyway. Never quite got the required purchase on it. Oh, and there's an opportunity though, he's in again here. Does he go alone? He does, but just drags it wide when you might feel that the ball to the right might have been the better option. But he's enjoying himself already, and he's causing trouble already. The reason there's so much excitement about him is he enjoyed a lively start to his Singapore international career. A couple of goals in his 8 caps. And then, of course, that dream move to Europe with KMSK Deinze in Belgium, just disrupted, obviously, by that serious knee injury. Bang on the head for Taitage there. It was Song up challenging. Jay clears to Nicola, who did well there, just shielded the ball, drew the foul, and he's operating in pretty much the position we saw John Mackin in, just right side of midfield. Anu it was the guilty party, as Cunliffe floats the ball out to the left, inviting the challenge. Agustin fired it straight into Jacob Mahler, and here they come again. Nicola trying to work it through the middle. Oh, that's good. Song's got acres of space to work into. Plays an early ball out, looking for Ilhan. Gonçalves has to be careful, he's on a yellow. Here comes Ilhan Fandi again. This time he sets it up, and the shot's on target, but comfortably saved from Song Woo-young. Well, he's lively, he's involved in a lot, and it'll be interesting to see just what kind of conditioning he's got. He returned and played on September the 23rd for Deinze's under-21 side, did Ilhan, so has got a little bit of football under his belt before coming out for the training camp. Harris for Singapore, and they're happy to let it run all the way out to the right-hand side. Hafi is operating out there, remember now. Adam Swandi too, here is Adam Swandi, lines his man up. Now it's curled in beautifully, keeper takes a punch, it's fallen to Van Huysen, not again, surely, curls it in, maybe he should have gone for goal. Maybe, that was the time to have a shot. Here he is once more, left-footed, crossed in, Agustin's there with a header. Nicely done by Anu under pressure from Nicola. And the crowd are enjoying this now. Singapore have just upped the ante a little bit of a buzz about the place, a little bit of a buzz about the team as well. Good to see that Hafiz Noor's really sticking to the task that Zulkarnain did so well, just operating wide right, and giving them that space, stretching the Guam side to a point whereby Singapore really are marauding through the middle at ease, really. Shah's not happy with the free kick against him. Almost on the centre spot then. It's Guam to get us going again. They trail by 2-0. 20 or so minutes remain here in Singapore in this first of 2 legs of a first-round qualifier for the FIFA World Cup and for the AFC Asian Cup. They're looking to make it through to a second round of qualifying next month. More high-profile international action, should that happen. Shahiran just feeling the effects there. Initially, it was a pullback, and then look at that follow-through there from Halle Halle. It's been a difficult outing this for Russ Awa. He'll know the score says 2-0, but he'll also know that his side could have been really half a dozen goals down in this one. Lots for them to do before they take on Singapore again back home in Guam in 5 days' time. Oh, that's nicely done. Hafiz Noor with the ball that flicks off the defender, goes behind, and yet again we find ourselves in corner territory for Singapore. Looks as if he's okay. Shahiran just recovered from that little bang he took there. And we're into double figures. 10th corner now. Song looks for the movement. A little bit of frustration. And the usual suspects in attendance there, the two centre-halves. Cunliffe's header. Chance for Van Huysen over the top. He's done it once. He hasn't been able to do it in his subsequent efforts. And that would have required some pretty special technique to stay over the top of that one from that range. Dallas J might just have let that go behind. Sloppy from Guam. And we're on to corner number 11 as a result. Now Romero and company really need to keep their cool here. There's a long, long way to go, and they don't want to be out of this two-legged tie before they even get on a plane back to Guam. That could be the case if they concede another couple before the end of the 90 here. Song again clips it in, headed down and away by Taitage. And then Gonçalves completes the job. Been a fairly quiet outing for Anu as part of this back three for Singapore here. Not too much stress this evening. Of course, he's somebody who could also be called upon to get into that engine room in midfield and get into the cut and thrust there. So Van Huysen looks as if he's going to work the line long, looking for Ilhan. Flicks off Gonçalves, another throw in, this time much closer to the danger zone for Guam. Nishigaya up off his seat, looking to maybe engineer another change here as Song curls the ball in. Oh, it's nicely done, inviting a finish, and none of those on-rushing red players could supply it. Romero for Guam, looking to just stem the Singapore tide of attacks. Oh, it's Ilhan Fandi, surely one-on-one offside. Flag went up nice and early. Crowd scream, but despite the good footwork and despite the finish, not to be. You know what? That looks very, very tight. Kyle Halle Halle himself wasn't sure. He called for it. He stepped and called for it. It was a tight call. Eddie Nah back to Agustin. Was there a push in midfield? No, says the referee. And now an opportunity. It's Ilhan who turns, and here's turns supplier Song Wei-young. Can he finish? Or at least can he set up? Ilhan just misses out. Flashed across the face of goal. Ilhan Fandi is coming closer and closer. And this is keeping the crowd very much engaged. As Anu goes through midfield, look at the space there for the likes of Shah to operate there. Everyone to his right. Harris can just move it along. He does so. And Adam Swandy now. He's got Hafiz Noor to his right. Here he is. Will he get a ball in with the left foot? Flips one in. Oh, and Song was there waiting. But in the end, it was well defended by Dane Augustin, who's had a good second half. Shaky at times in the first, it has to be said, the young man, when the defence was turned on a regular basis. But he's been good with the ball coming in this half. Here was Son, who just kept drifting away from an optimal shooting position, and in the end, wasn't that far away with the ball across to Ilhan Fandi. But here we go again. We've seen this before. From the corner, Song. Can he pick out a red-shirted Singapore player? Looking for the flick was Marla. Under pressure. This time, it isn't a corner. To his bewilderment. Halahali took a bit of a bang in that little exchange as well. So he's down. And that's just going to give Guam a little bit of breathing room here. Much needed too. Well, we're going to see the arrival of a very experienced player who's going to step into midfield here in the shape of Zulfami. The Hougang United man is going to come on for Song Wei-Yung, who has contributed to a dozen corners and an awful lot of very progressive play throughout the course of this match. Good effort by the number 7. And on comes number 23, Zulfami. Zulfami coming off the back of a really excellent result for Hougang United in continental competition against Haiphong from Vietnam at Ulaanbaatar last week. Shah moving down the left-hand side. Now the question is, in the absence of Song Wei-Yung, who's going to take the corners? He took plenty. Well, it's the man who replaced him who strides across, and of course he has superb delivery, usually in open play, great range of passing. Let's see what he can conjure up from a corner here. Zulfami for Singapore, number 13 this is now. You feel it's going to be that left-footed away swinger, just clipped into the near post. And Jacob Marler, who's always involved, always looks to keep it alive in those situations. Again, trying to make something happen with a flick there, not to be. Romero for Guam, out to Gonzalez. Infield, Taitage. Cunliffe to his left. Good little run there from Rocker. Couldn't quite pick him out. Well read by Lionel. And here's an opportunity for Ilhan once again, but the keeper reads it well. And Dallas J just happy to put the ball out there. Such a threat, and we really have to hope that he gets back to what he was before that knee injury, Ilhan. Such a special player. Very different in some ways from his brother Iksan, who just really is just a pure finisher, particularly with the power in that right foot of his. He offers a very direct approach to goal. Does Iksan, sensational goal scorer, fabulous player. And Ilhan just slightly different in that he's a little bit more happy to drop into those pockets and spaces and create as well. As we see a yellow card shown to a player who's been getting a little frustrated in the last few minutes there, Yona Romero. Just a little bit late, a little bit niggly there on Jacob. Well, slightly surprisingly, as we come towards 10 or so minutes remaining, Singapore haven't added to those 2 first-half goals. Scoreless in this second half. They would dearly love that to change. They've had the chances, yet again, not as many as the first half. And they've got the firepower, we know that much. So Harris has just dropped into that central position in the back 3 now, as they look to prompt from the back. Zulfami replacing him in the deep-lying midfield role, the quarterbacking role there. Ilhan Fandi under a bit of pressure from Agustin. Does nicely to work it out to the left. Anu. As far forward as I think we've seen him in this game. Clipped in nicely, looking for Ilhan, but coming around the back. And not maybe calling clearly enough there was Hafiz Noor, I think. Could have let that go, and he knows it. He leaves that one, and there might just have been a shooting chance for Hafiz Noor. Or even a heading chance, in fact. Yeah, just needed the call there. Hafiz always so full of running. 35, I think he is now, and 27 caps now to his name. Always excellent up and down that right-hand side. And Singapore are lucky. They've got 2 or 3 really excellent practitioners who can do that job. One of them out injured in Ryan. As we see a foul, is that on Osrocker? It was. Just got the timing of that wrong, Van Huysen, and he's going to see yellow for it. So that's a first yellow card for a Singapore player. He's got a bit about him, this young man, burly striker, but all action. Just got a touch on that one, just enough to get away, and that would have been a position of some danger, hence the yellow card. Goal and a card for Singapore's number 4 so far in a very, very lively outing. Now, can Cunliffe conjure up something? Because you tell you what, a goal for Guam now, even if it finished that way, would give them something to work with when they go home for the second leg. This is important. This is big for Singapore. They have to defend it well, and just too much on it over the back, and a wasted opportunity. They haven't had many of those, Guam, and they really needed something more from that. Down to walking pace at the moment, and that was a sloppy ball out from the back, but tidied up by Hafiz Noor. And Singapore need to remain focused here. This is not really a scoreline I think they should be satisfied with. On the balance of play, on the chances created, they should really be going away from Kallang tonight with a much, much wider margin of victory. Anu there in midfield now, into Ilhan. Tidy from him as ever. Lovely change of direction there. Now, who can he bring into play down the left-hand side? He's got Van Huysen. He weighs up across, and he goes for Ilhan, and he gets it on target. But really, from there, never able to get enough on it to trouble Dallas J. Good cross, picked out his man. Maybe with a bit more pace, a bit more whip, he might have done more with the header. Long way out, really, by the penalty spot. "16 shots to 2. That's what I was alluding to, speaking about the scoreline. Margins should be much wider than 2 goals. It's nicely done again, looking for that run through midfield. Adam Swandi it was, linking up nicely. He lines up his man. He's done well, Adam Swandi, but couldn't deliver a shot or a cross. It was kind of a hybrid, but kept alive again by Hafiz Noor. Now, can he set something up? Zulfami on the edge of the area, right-footed into Ilhan. Here's a chance. Does it fall to the shot for Shah? Taking a lot of touches on this one, Singapore. It's still alive. Still got bodies there. Adam Swandi, nicely done. Good feet. Now, is there a cross from Van Huysen? It doesn't get past his man. Gonsalves with the block. And another change coming the way of Guam, with Levi Berg coming on. And he replaces the hard-working Eddie Na, who's had a little bit less to do in this second half. So, Zulfami again with a corner for Singapore. And that surely has to be, oh, it was an open goal for Ilhan, and he knows it. Got his head on it and could only direct it for the second time in a couple of minutes straight at Dallas J. What a chance that was by his standards. Just needed to be a yard or so either side of the goalkeeper, and he's scoring. Again, another chance wasted. When they look back at this one, when they review this, when they look at the stats, when they look at the video, there's going to be a very clear message from the coaching staff, and that is that they just have to be better in front of goal. Oh, that's a lunging challenge and a little bit of afters there. Not entirely sure what prompted that from Takumi Ito, but Iman Hafiz Noor involved in a tangle there. Referee's over there just calming things down. And Takumi Ito just needs to get his sensible head on once again, because they've got some defending to do here. As Zulfami, who probably is suited far more by a corner from this side. He can get a little bit of that natural in-swing from the left foot on this one. Let's see if he can come up with something dangerous. Corner number 15. Does it yield a goal for Singapore? Whipped in, looking for the flick. Wasn't great. Cunliffe able to clear first man. But it's still alive. Van Huysen now. Shah. Van Huysen looks to go the long way round, but they clip it to Ilhan in the middle. Here's the chance. Has to score. But is he offside again? Yes, he is. Well, it's twice now we've seen the official on the far side raise the flag. And twice we've seen that rueful smile. The header down from Lionel, who's stayed up. And yep, he's offside. Good decision. So again, frustration, and time is running out for Ilhan Fandi and for Singapore to add to their goal tally here. Just remember, this is a game played over 2 legs. Should, for some reason, it be all square at the end of the 90 minutes played in Guam in 5 days' time, it would go to extra time and then penalties for a decider. And there's a foul, and here's another opportunity for Guam. Late in the piece here, and at first glance that looked like something of a sloppy foul on Taitag, and a little bit of afters there with Lionel Tan, who I don't think was happy with the way the player went down, but the decision's been made, free kick's been awarded, and they would be best served getting up and facing this one down. There's just a few tempers fraying out there. Let's have a little look here. Was there much contact? Just a little nudge. I think that's what Lionel's taking offence at. But there was contact, he felt it, and he went down. And as a result, that offers Guam a position of some potential danger here now. Cunliffe stands over it. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. A goal now changes the complexion of this 2-legged tie. A goal now would be a real kick in the teeth for Singapore, who should be absolutely out of sight in this qualifying fixture. Not just tonight, but they should have this job done already. As it is, they're defending a 2-goal lead, and with just over a minute or so to go, Hassan Sunny and company have to try and keep this out. Shah's the man down behind the wall for the low shot. Cunliffe stands over this one. Is it going to be moved and struck? Is it going to be power from Rocker? Maybe Oz Rocker, you know. Tense moments at the National Stadium. Cunliffe! Oh, and he's done it! Oh, that's what he's about! Cunliffe scores for Guam. And that is an absolute sickening blow for Singapore. Right at the death, the captain, the veteran, the man who makes it happen for Guam, has scored a sublime free kick, because they have to be good to beat Hassan Sunny. And look at those reactions from the Guam players. Well, they've been picking fights over the last few minutes. And now he's let his boots do the talking, because that is high quality from Cunliffe. 2-1. Wow. That changes things. And you know what? That has silenced the National Stadium. This was not in the script. And Singapore, well, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, you have to feel they will regret, or should regret, these missed chances. They lead, and they may well still come away with this victory. Every chance of it. But Guam will feel they've come here and they've got something out of this tie now that looks so unlikely. Gonçalves gives it away to Ilhan, and that was sloppy. And he's driving into the area, and he goes down, but nothing doing. Oh, that's lovely play. Shah, can he make something happen? Just tried it with the outside of the right foot. And he's gone down, suffering a little bit of cramp by the looks of things as he's stretched out there. Down goes Taitage, I think it is, for Guam. Cramping up too. Crowd not at all happy with these tactics, if they are tactics, but you know, it's been a strength-sapping night. The referee's got to be a little bit mindful of what's happening here. That's 2 players now down with the cramp. And you get the feeling that Cunliffe has done something very special tonight. That was an amazing effort. Remember, he went off for a bit of treatment in the first half, the 39-year-old. And he still had the quality, and he still had enough in those legs of his to fire home that beautiful free kick. And that really is now food for thought for Takayuki Nishigaya. That turns this into a very different post-match press conference as well, I can tell you that. Cunliffe with international goal number 26. And we're going to have a little bit more than the 6 minutes of time that was already added on, thanks to that lengthy injury interruption. And Singapore absolutely desperately need to try and grab a goal from somewhere to come away from this game with a scoreline that even partly demonstrates the superiority that they've shown in this match. Well, those were the celebrations, and there was a yellow card as part of that celebration there. He will not mind one bit. Harris now looking to get things moving once again for a Singapore side which is absolutely shocked by what has happened. Amiral's on the pitch now.
Hey! Come on!
And listen to the voices from those benches. Both sides know this is absolutely vital, these remaining couple of minutes here. Hafiz Noor, can he get in behind? He was just checked a little bit there, but nothing illegal, says the referee. And they will eat up every bit of time they possibly can now, Guam. Takumi Ito it was who just got in the way there of Singapore's right wing back. Suddenly the atmosphere is quiet at the National Stadium. Suddenly all of that goodwill, all of that noise surrounding Ilhan's chances has just been quieted by that super free kick for Guam. Jay over the halfway line. It's a good header from Jacob Mahler, but Singapore need to get the ball under control, need to create something. That was rather aimless. Well, if it does end this way, they'll still say that they've been superior in the game, superior on the night, and they'll just have to do the same thing away from home. But it's a different proposition, you can be sure of that awaits them. Oh, there's some lovely work in there. Great feet from Adam Swanby. Felt he should have had a free kick, and I kind of sympathise with him there. Now Marla desperately trying to get things going. Zulfami comes to get. He's going to have to try and play a pass or two. They're going to try and unlock this Guam defence, because they're all back in their own half now, the visiting side. Jacob over the halfway line. Singapore with only Harris in their own half. Across the line along the right. Is there to be a late goal? Hafiz Noor down the right-hand side. There's Zulfami. Clive, a little ball in, just dinked it in there. Looking for Adam Swanby. Nothing doing. The crowd wanted a free kick. Well, Singapore's players knew there was nothing doing. As the players stayed down here, the referee knows, but waves play on. Oh, and what was that from Shah? He tried something special with the outside of the right foot. Never really looked like troubling the goalkeeper. Well, there's going to be more time added on now, because there's another issue with cramp for one of the Guam players. And you have to remember, this is a side that simply hasn't played any football. Certainly no competitive football for a couple of years. No matches of note for over a year. All they've done is play for their respective clubs and colleges, usually stateside or in the domestic league. But as an international team, they just haven't been playing games. So to come to Singapore and come away with a 2-1 scoreline, a 2-1 defeat, if you just look at what the score is, you'll say that was an excellent job. They have been second best, yes they have, for long, long periods, and they should be trailing by more. But it's all about that score. And as we see young Dane Agustin get up, and he's put in a tremendous shift tonight, well, they can go away with something very tangible. They were talking about making a statement ahead of this game. That's what Cunliffe was saying in the pre-match press conference, and I suppose you'd have to say they have done. It seems a long, long time ago now that Van Huysen scored in the 35th minute. There was such a good buzz around Singapore. They quickly scored 6 minutes later. Felt almost certain that they would go on and add several goals to that tally, but it hasn't happened. And now really it's just a question of how much more time has been added on at the end of this one. Agustin continues to suffer. And there we go, Nicolau looking to just buy up a bit of time, shielded the ball well. Into the 99th minute now of this game. Is that a foul from Gonzalez? No. Away goes Shah. Surely must be into the dying seconds of this game now. Jacob across the line. This has to go forward. Something has to happen here for Singapore. Has to happen soon. Can the captain go long? It's back with Marla out to the left-hand side. Amirul now. There's the run down the left-hand side. Shah it was. Always full of running. Does he win a corner? Yes, he does. Always thought he had done. That might be worth looking at. There's going to be a change made late on as well. And in to replace the injured Agustin is Shane Healy. But really not much time for Healy to do anything in this game. You feel that has to surely be it now. We have seen changes, we have seen injuries, but we must be at the outer limits now, the time added on. And there it is. And make what you will of the reaction from the National Stadium crowd. It's a victory for Singapore, but judging by those reactions, it feels almost like a victory for Guam. They lose the game by 2-1, but that sublimely taken goal from Jason Cunliffe has completely changed the narrative around a two-legged tie that frankly looked as if it was going to be settled as early as the first half tonight. Chances came and went for Singapore before they finally scored 2 first-half goals, and in the second half their failure to add to that tally compounded by the late free kick scored by Cunliffe, and that means that despite the goal from Marler, despite the wonder strike from Christopher Van Huysen early on, there are distinctly mixed feelings around the Singapore cap, you can be sure of that. The cameras are going to dwell obviously on the likes of Ilhan, who tonight it wasn't to be his night, and obviously that man you just saw, Cunliffe, but Harris will know that he and maybe his coach will be in for some difficult questions in the wake of a night that hasn't gone the way Singapore entirely wanted. Yes, they win, and yes, it's their advantage in this qualifier, but they finish with a scoreline that might just disappoint a few. It's Singapore 2, Guam 1, as we leave the National Stadium.
Well done, Marler. So what do you think of your team's performance tonight?
Of course, you know, we got a victory here at home. Of course, it's a bit disappointing to concede at the end there. You know, it's all to play for at Guam. We just have to recover now, focus, and, you know, we're going to have a long journey there. So we just got to refocus on our recovery and focus on the next game.
What will be your plan of action after this?
Of course, you know, it's a tough window. We have until Tuesday now to recover. We have to focus, regroup, you know. We played well, we dominated the game, but there's still stuff we need to work on as a team. And I think, you know, conceding a goal at the end, it's unacceptable from us. So we just need to, you know, focus to the 90 minutes and be consistent.
Well done, Jacob. Thank you. That was well done. What do you think on the second half of the game? I think your team picked up the game and managed to get one in.
Well, definitely we made some changes for the second half, you know, and then it definitely proved in our favor. We got a goal, and that's a positive for us going into our home leg.
So you think this win will give you a positive note back home later?
Oh, absolutely. In front of our home crowd, this is where our boys really perform.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's go.